To me, every time I do the track, it's about the history and being able to convey that to people. When we go through on a trek, we always do a service using our, and we're not over the top military, but we actually, when we do the service, we do it in a proper manner. And by the time that you do that service, you do have an understanding of what the diggers went through, and it's quite a moving experience. That always moves me, and when people get to the end and they finish, it's a big achievement. It is a big achievement. It is a arduous track, and if it rains, it makes it even harder because you need to concentrate more. But it gives you a little bit of understanding of actually, Jesus, this is what they went through. It's quite slippery. Well, yeah, it's quite slippery, but we may be a group of 10 or 15 going through. Thousands were moving up and down that track. Thousands on that same piece of ground, and it was pouring with rain. You could just imagine how boggy it was and how energy sapping it was. So you get a bit of an understanding of that. So every time I do the track, people say, geez, you've done it quite a few times. Don't you get bored? I don't get bored. New group, I get to see the vocals. I get to see changes within individuals. And we're all different. But I know every person is affected in some way, whether it's small or large. When they finish that Kokoda, they've undergone training prior. They've then actually done it. They then have an understanding. They have more knowledge. They're not listening to their phones. They're interacting with other people, some they haven't met before, and they establish new networks and new bonds and new friendships that last for years and years and years. In some ways, it does change people. No one goes on our treks unless they actually partake in our training programs. Virtually, the programs work. They've been specifically designed for each particular adventure, in particular Kokoda. Ever since we started, we had an 8-week program that was established here in Brisbane. We're here, we monitor it, we administer it, we implement it, and we look at the individuals within the collective group. We also established a remote training program, so people that were outside of the Brisbane CBD, and that is a 12-week program, and once again very specific to Kokoda. People have trained from interstate, Singapore, London, Dubai, Hong Kong, all over the world, even as far away as Norway, have actually done our remote training program and gone through the trek. Each fortnight we give you a call. Not only do you get the actual training program, there are inbuilt measures within that program, and that's based on our experience and our knowledge, and we can actually tell from those inbuilt assessments exactly where you're at and what needs to happen. So if you can walk all day, that's great. But if you can't walk up a hill and recover, then we need to change that or modify that program to suit you so that your recovery is improved. Yes, there are cheaper trips out there. All I'll say with that, there's good companies all over the world that do trips all over the world. It comes down to you, the client. You need to do your due diligence, as you would if you're going out to get your car tuned, if you're going to buy a new car, or you're going to do something, buy an engagement ring, you would check things out. You need to do your due diligence when you're doing the Kokoda Track. It is a hard trek. You are in a remote country. Things that you will need to look at: what am I actually paying for? Do I get a training program? Is it specific, or is it just something that's made up? Do I get equipment, or do I have to go out and purchase equipment? Do I pay for my internal flights, or do I get that as part of the package? The group that I'm going with, are they actually registered with the Kokoda Track Authority? Who's going to go on the trek? I'm looking for a historical side of things. The person that's going to convey the history, do they know the history? What are their risk management? What plan do they have for risk management. Know the details. I can write a risk management plan. I can say that we're going to use a satellite phone. If I don't know how to use it, then it's no good. If I actually make a call and someone's not on the end of that phone, that risk management plan is no good. So do your due diligence and make sure that whoever you go with has everything in place. Other things to consider: equipment. If you're going to go on the trek, if they don't supply gear, well, what do I need to buy? Well, you can buy a cheap pack, or you can buy a good pack. You're going to walk 7 or 8 days in a pack, and you're going to carry anything from 12 to 17, 18 kilos, depending on the individual. You want to make sure that's a good pack and it stands up to the harsh conditions. That could cost you anything from $250 up to $500. You've got to get boots, you've got to get socks, you've got to get hiking poles if you require those hiking poles. Where do you get the advice for that? So we'll provide all those things. What we do, we supply the training program, we monitor the training program. We get your insurance for it, we supply the majority of the gear. We supply you with a pack, we supply your porter with a pack if you're having a personal porter. We supply you with rolled mats, we supply you with sleeping bags, we supply you with the food that goes on the track. We supply you with a full comprehensive medical kit, and you will have a dedicated medic to the trip, plus you'll have a dedicated trek leader that knows the history and knows the track. They're the things that you need to consider.